How goals built my hope from hopeless to hopeful. The moment I opened my eyes after 31 comatose days, the world hit me like a slammed door. Hospital lights burned too bright. The left side of my body was a foreign country I couldn't cross. I remember being flat and furious. This is not my life plan. It took a while, maybe years, but then I began hearing the small, ridiculous bell of a thought: if I couldn't move my left side, I could at least make a plan for what to do if I couldn't. That thought, tiny, stubborn, became the engine of every episode in Goals Build Hope. This series doesn't tiptoe around tragedy. It plunges you into the raw, up-close scenes I lived, waking from a coma after a motorcycle crash, staring at a world that had rearranged me, and learning to argue back with the limits my body put down. You'll see the moment my lips first formed a word the speech therapist had coaxed out of me, the first time my hand clenched and released a cup during occupational therapy, the first shaky steps taken in PT with a therapist shouting encouragement like a coach who believed in miracles. These are not neat montages, they are stubborn, messy, stubborn again. Here's the truth I learned inside every clinic room and on bad days at home: therapy is less about drills and more about teaching you how to trust yourself. Nobody handed me that lesson, I had to practice it. Every repeated motion, every breath count and buttoning exercise, every tongue exercise that tasted like punishment, was practice not only for muscles but for a different kind of muscle, the belief muscle. I learned how to set a tiny target, aim for it, and watch the world bend a little closer to my will. In one episode, I argue with my own reflection, half of my face betraying me, while a therapist tapes lines on the mirror to make me try smiling on cue. It's embarrassing, furious, devastating, then, finally, funny. I laugh at myself because a laugh is a small reclaiming of territory. An occupational therapist shakes a jar I can't open, then shows me a clever wrist angle, a different grip. That lesson is simple: goals become doable when someone teaches you the path and you walk it again and again. The videos capture those sliver of miracle moments: the jar that finally gives, the sentence that finally comes out, the step that wasn't there yesterday. Psychotherapy wasn't about tidy conclusions taken in 1 hour, it was about grieving the person I was and sketching, on top of that grief, the person I could become. Some scenes will make your chest hurt: the night I cried on the hospital bed because I didn't recognize myself, and scenes that will make you want to stand up and cheer. The first time a therapist told me, set the smallest target you can imagine. I said it, button my shirt. I did it. Then I said another, hold a coffee. Small victories stacked into a new identity. The camera follows those shifts like a friend who refuses to let you forget how far you came. And yes, doctors said things that felt like sentences: you won't, probably won't, unlikely. Those lines stung. But what the series shows is how those negations became fuel rather than prison bars. My rehab team taught skills, but it was the everyday act of telling myself, out loud, today I will try this, that changed me. I practiced goals like a pianist practices scales, tirelessly, badly at first, improving by inches. Each inch reshaped how I saw myself. Where I had once been defined by loss, I began to be defined by small, accumulative wins: a button, a step, a sentence, a shower unsupervised. One of the episodes I keep coming back to is the driving story. A year after the crash, against a chorus of professional skepticism, I got my license back. You'll see the paperwork, you'll see my dad take me out for driving practice. I got pulled over once. The officer couldn't understand my speech impairment, so my dad explained what we were doing. After that, the officer just said, "Good luck. I hope you make it." The day Dad took me to the DMV to take my driving test, my hands felt as if they belonged to someone else. They were somehow steady, careful, and focused. When the agent told me I had passed, I burst into a noisy, ridiculous laugh. It wasn't just about driving, it was about reclaiming a piece of normalcy and staking a claim on my future. For me, that license was proof that the daily grind of rehab, goal setting, and prayer had been reshaping my life. If you watch the series for anything, watch it for the unglamorous truth: hope is built. Not born. Not dropped from a fortune cookie. Built. Bricks of repetition, mortar made of patience and stubbornness. Therapists give you the blueprint, you lay the bricks. And the cameras don't flinch from the ugly parts, the rage after a plateau, the despair when a therapist says, try again tomorrow, or the beautiful parts, a fist pumped after a failed attempt finally becomes a success. There are moments of humor, my first attempt at using a knife and fork post-crash, which felt like a slapstick routine, and moments of sharp, quiet victory, sitting at a cafe and reading aloud without someone else's help. You'll meet the people who steadied me, the nurse who held my hand at 3 a.m., the occupational therapist who turned everyday tasks into training grounds, the speech therapist who made me laugh while teaching me to say, coffee. You'll also sit in on my psychotherapy sessions where I confront fear and boredom and learn to set goals that align with who I want to be. And you'll meet my girlfriend Cheryl. Goals Build Hope is not a how-to manual. It's a witness. It's a series for anyone who needs to see that progress isn't always dramatic, sometimes it's 1,000 tiny agreements you make with yourself. It's for people who have been told no and want to see what happens when someone decides to answer back. I want viewers to come away with a feeling that is hard to quantify, that effort, when directed toward a specific aim, compounds into identity. After months of practice, I didn't just get stronger in muscle, I got stronger in conviction. That's what let me drive again. That's what let me look in the mirror without flinching. If you're here for inspiration, you'll find it in real time, small, stubborn victories that stitch together a life. If you're here for the human mess, the crying, the laughing, the anger, you'll see that too, unvarnished. Above all, watch to witness how hope is not a mood but a method. Goals Build Hope is my story of rebuilding, on purpose, with grit, with help, and it's an open invitation. If I can rehearse belief into being, so can you.